Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. Urgent breaking news. The entertainment world has been rocked to its very core. Gao Taiyu, once admired for his charm and talent, has been urgently arrested at his private residence in Beijing, under suspicion of involvement in the horrifying death of Menglong. What lies behind this shocking twist? Fame, envy, betrayal, or something even darker? Stay with us because this is more than just a headline. It's a chilling story that reveals the hidden face of stardom. The entertainment world was jolted into silence when news broke of Gao Taiyu's sudden arrest at his private residence in Beijing. It was a scene that seemed to come straight out of a crime drama. Yet it unfolded in reality, witnessed by ordinary neighbors and echoed across international headlines. In the early hours of dawn, the stillness of a luxury district was pierced not by sirens or shouting, but by the quiet precision of law enforcement. Unmarked vehicles slid into place, their headlights briefly illuminating the gates of Gao's residence before fading into darkness. Neighbors who had lived for years alongside one of China's brightest stars watched in disbelief as plainclothed officers moved with purpose, their steps heavy with the weight of suspicion and consequence. Within moments, the front door opened and the actor was led out, his hands restrained, his face drained of color. Some witnesses recalled hearing a muffled resistance. Others whispered of a haunting phrase he muttered under his breath. It wasn't supposed to end this way. Those words lingered in the air like smoke, sending shivers through those who heard them. Words that could be interpreted as guilt, regret, or perhaps something far more complex. For the countless fans who had admired Gao as a symbol of charm and talent, this sight shattered the fragile distance between fiction and reality. The glamorous life he projected on screen dissolved in an instant, replaced by the stark image of a man caught in the grip of scandal. The arrest was more than the detainment of an individual. It was the collapse of an illusion that many had believed in. Gao's residence, once admired as a symbol of his success, became a stage for a public downfall. Its marble steps and manicured gardens now backdrops for whispered rumors and speculation. For neighbors, the memory of flashing cameras and the weight of silence would be impossible to erase. For the industry, it was a reminder that even the brightest stars can fall without warning. And for the public, the image of Gao Taiyu being escorted away in handcuffs was not just about guilt or innocence. It was about the terrifying fragility of trust and the shadows that linger behind the spotlight. For years, Gao Taiyu and Menglong were seen as symbols of camaraderie in the entertainment world, their names often spoken in the same breath, their images captured side by side on red carpets, and their smiles radiating a sense of brotherhood before flashing cameras. To the public, they represented the ideal of professional respect, two rising stars supporting one another in a competitive industry. But beneath the polished surface, a different story quietly began to unfold, one marked by tension, insecurity, and the growing shadow of rivalry. Menglong was the younger star, admired for his warmth, his natural charm, and his ability to connect with audiences in a way that felt almost effortless. His career was rising with remarkable speed, more leading roles, endorsements with prestigious brands, and an ever-expanding fanbase that celebrated his every move. Gao, older and already established, watched from a position that should have brought him pride, yet insiders whispered that admiration had slowly turned into unease. The very success of the man once considered a colleague and friend seemed to cast a long shadow over his own achievements. People within the industry, speaking quietly and often off the record, described the atmosphere backstage at events. Gao remained polite, even gracious in public appearances, but those close to the scene noted how the strain showed when the spotlight shifted. What had begun as healthy competition was rumored to have grown into something darker. A rivalry that festered with envy, disappointment, and the fear of being replaced. Fame, after all, is rarely shared equally, and the industry has little patience for those who linger too long in second place. The smiles on red carpets hid an unspoken truth. One man was accelerating into stardom, while the other struggled to maintain the ground he once held. Those who had observed them together recalled moments that seemed insignificant at the time. A brief stiffness in Gao's posture when you received applause, a lingering silence in conversations where laughter should have filled the air. In hindsight, those small cracks in their relationship painted a portrait of a bond slowly unraveling. And so when tragedy struck, the world was forced to revisit their story not as a tale of friendship but as the anatomy of rivalry. Proof that in the dazzling world of fame, admiration can twist into jealousy, and jealousy, when left unchecked, can become the seed of something irreversible. In the days before his tragic death, Menglong's life seemed to carry an invisible weight that those closest to him could not ignore. Friends recalled how his usual warmth had been replaced by restlessness, his once relaxed conversations punctuated by long silences and sudden glances over his shoulder. He began to cancel meetings and public appearances, often at the last moment, giving excuses that felt vague yet carried the unmistakable tone of fear. One assistant remembered him pacing endlessly in his apartment, phone in hand, opening and closing messages as though he expected something terrible to appear on the screen. At times, his voice trembled when he confessed that he felt watched, as if unseen eyes followed him through the crowded streets and even into the quiet of his own home. To his friends, it was unsettling but not entirely unusual. After all, fame comes with scrutiny, and countless celebrities live under the relentless gaze of fans and critics. Yet in Yu's case, the unease seemed to run deeper, darker, as though he knew something more than he was willing to say aloud. On one occasion, he made a chilling remark to a close confidant. "If something happens to me, remember who I feared most." Those words, spoken in a moment of vulnerability, now echo with an almost prophetic resonance, casting a shadow over everything that followed. But at the time he left no name, no explanation, only a silence that unsettled those who heard it. This ambiguity has haunted investigators and fans alike, fueling speculation about who or what he truly feared. The final days of his life, once mundane, are now examined like fragile fragments of a puzzle, every cancelled meeting and every anxious glance dissected for meaning. When his lifeless body was discovered under circumstances so disturbing that details were initially withheld, the whispers turned into anguished cries for answers. To the outside world, you had been a star on the rise, a man with every reason to look forward to a brilliant future. But behind closed doors, his growing paranoia and sense of danger tell a very different story. It was as if he had been living in the shadow of something inevitable, caught between the dazzling light of fame and the unseen darkness that stalked him. His final days were not just a tragic countdown to death, but a haunting testament to the silent terror that accompanies those who sense the storm before anyone else can see it. According to investigators, a trail of digital records, surveillance footage, and personal belongings pointed suspicion toward Gao. Deleted messages hinted at jealousy, anger, and desperation. But here's where the story grows even more complex. Gao denies everything. He insists the so-called evidence is misleading or fabricated. He claims he was at home, reading scripts with colleagues, supported by delivery receipts and security logs. His words to investigators were chillingly calm. "If you want the truth, stop chasing me, and look at who truly benefited from Yu's death." So is Gao guilty of an unthinkable crime? Or is he a scapegoat trapped in a storm of public hysteria? This tragedy is no longer just a Chinese headline. It has captured worldwide attention. From New York to Seoul, from Tokyo to Paris, fans are debating online. Social media hashtags trend across platforms, with millions expressing heartbreak, anger, and disbelief. Some see this as a cautionary tale about fame's destructive pressure. Others demand justice, while a growing number fear that the truth may never be fully revealed. And within the entertainment industry, the impact is immense. Fellow actors are questioning their own safety. Producers worry about scandals derailing projects. Fans are left torn between grief for Yu and disbelief about Gao. This story is more than a crime drama. It's a mirror reflecting the darker corners of fame. Behind the glamour lies pressure, competition, and fragile trust. For the audience, it raises questions. How well do we really know the stars we admire? Can the pursuit of fame and recognition push people to their breaking point? And most importantly, how should we, as fans, balance admiration with awareness of the real human struggles behind the spotlight? This is not just news. It's a journey into the heart of fame, rivalry, and tragedy. The story of Gao Taiyu and Menglong is still unfolding, and the truth remains hidden in shadows. Sparkles, if you want to stay updated with every twist and revelation, make sure to subscribe to X24H. Thumbs up, thank you for watching, and remember, your support helps us bring you the stories that matter. Hit the bell icon, stay informed, and join us again as we uncover the next chapter in this extraordinary saga. This is X24H, where the world's most gripping stories come to light.